Well, the past 2 weeks got a little more snow around the inland northwest, but it's been a little easier to deal with.
The snow that sticks in the morning is usually gone by the afternoon. Meteorologist Matt Gray explains why late winter snow usually doesn't stick around. Matt.
All right, and when it's late winter, we're happy that it does for sure. It's about time everyone's tired of this. Now, the obvious explanation, it's getting warmer, but otherwise this wouldn't be a segment if there wasn't more to the full story. Our three coldest months, December, January, February, in order: meteorological winter. The next coldest is actually November, and then number 5 is March, where we are now. These 2 months that bookend the winter season couldn't be any more different from each other, and it's a lot easier to get snow around the ground in November than in March. This year, we've had more snow on the ground for longer in November than January and February too. There's good reason why here. It all goes back to why we even have seasons in the first place. The angle of the sun. As we go through the fall season, we get less and less sunlight as our part of the earth tilts away from the sun, and the light that we do get comes in at a lower and lower angle. And so the sun appears lower and lower in the sky as the weeks go on. That same sunlight is getting spread also over a much wider area, and so we're not getting nearly the same amount of warmth as we would in other seasons. Now, this begins to reverse after the winter solstice in late December, and so most of winter, we're actually gaining daylight. We're gaining some solar power, but by the time we're in late winter and early spring, our sun angle actually ends up being a lot higher than it is in late fall. Midday sun angle right now about 10 degrees higher than it was at this point in November when we started getting all that snow for the first time this year. That translates into 2 more hours of daylight than during that time period in early November, and a lot more juice from the sun to work with. So even though it is still cold enough to snow, if that sun comes out, there is a lot more to work with by the end of winter here than what we had at the start. And if you're driving around town with more storms coming and, well, tomorrow and beyond, that is great news that we see improvements later in the day. But if you're wanting to get a head start and getting your yard ready for spring, you're probably not having as much fun. This is a picture of my yard. We've got dog paws, we've got boot prints, we've got mud everywhere.